This is going to be a very short lesson. It's not going to take much time at all. We just have one example to go through. This is one of our problem-solving strategies. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to solve a word problem, but we're going to do it solving a simpler problem. So we're going to break it down a little bit so that it's simpler. So it's not as difficult. We can do it maybe mentally even. And we're going to solve a simpler problem in order to help us get the main answer. So their question to us says 80% of the 300 students in school bought pizza for lunch today. How many students bought pizza for lunch? Now, I don't know about you guys, but I cannot do 80% of 300 in my head. So what we're going to do is, first off, I'm going to write 80% as a fraction. So remember, 80% is 80 out of 100, which simplifies down to 8/10, which will then reduce down to 4/5. So I know that 4/5 of 300 bought pizza for lunch today. Now, what I want to do is say, well, how many groups of 5? Well, how many times will 5 go into 300? Or, if you don't know that, it's easier to divide by 10. So let's say we divide 300 by 10 to see how many groups of 10 there are. Because 300 divided by 10 is easier because you just cancel the zeros, and it equals 30. So there are 30 groups of 10. So what this tells me is every 10% is 30. Well, how many 10% do I have? I have 8 of them. I divided by the bottom number, and now I'm going to multiply by the top number. So we have 300 divided by, so I took the total, divided by the denominator, got me 30. Now I'm going to take 30, I'm going to multiply it by 8. 8 times 0 is 0, 8 times 3 is 240. So 240 students bought pizza for lunch today. So again, what we're doing here is I knew I had 80% of 300. So what I did is I took this total, well, first I took the percentage and I wrote it as a fraction. I could have used the 4/5. I could have said, let's take 300 and divide it by 5. That would have given me 60. Then I would have taken 60 times 4 and still gotten 240. So it doesn't matter what denominator I used, as long as I used the corresponding numerator. So you take your total, divide it by the denominator, and then multiply it by the numerator. So I broke that down, so I wasn't doing a full 80% of 300. That'd be really hard to do mentally. But I can say 300 divided by 10 is 30. I know 30 times 8, well 8 times 3 is 24, add the 0, 240 students. It's all mental math at that point because you're breaking it down and solving simpler problems. So that's what you kind of want to take away from this, and just, this is one little strategy. It's just a very simple short lesson, one strategy. Now, will all of your problems tonight use that? Not necessarily. They're not all going to be doing that, but you are looking at 4 through 16, all of them, on page 400. So try them. If they use it, some of them are patterns, some of them are breaking it down, some of them you're going to be doing some other things with. So do your best with that, and use this strategy when possible.